At this time, I would like for everyone to please stand for the playing of the Madison Plains alma mater, and please remain standing for the processional. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, on behalf of the Board of Education, the staff and administration of Madison Plains Local Schools, I welcome you to the 2022 graduation ceremony. At this time, will the Salutatorian, Mr. Andrew Geyer, please come to the stage. Students and guests, please remain standing as he leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Gentlemen, we ask that you please remove your hats.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You all may be seated. So before I begin my salutatorian speech, I just wanted to take the time to mention that tonight the seniors have decided to wear black bands around their hands to remember and support those who have been affected by the tragedy that happened earlier this week in Texas. If you all would, we'd like to have a moment of silence for those victims. Thank you. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to say to the seniors to say this. We made it. I find personally with the hustle of everyday life, I don't take enough time to reflect and realize what's happening. To be honest, I'm not sure that to the extent that all that's happened so far, that's truly set in yet. If you were to reflect right now, what would you think about? Your time in the classroom? The people you surrounded yourself with? The field trips to the zoo? I can confidently say that every person sitting before me has had many experiences during their time at Madison Plains that they cherish. For some of you, I've had the joy of being in your company since kindergarten. For others, I met in the second grade when the elementary schools condensed. And for all those for those since then, I have had the opportunity to get to know all of you and become friends with many. One of the things I like most about Madison Plains is that everyone knows each other. If someone were to stand up right now in the senior class, I'd probably know their name. That's a privilege that we have due to our size, and is a luxury that few other schools have. Something else special to me about this class has been our involvement in different clubs, activities, and extracurriculars going beyond the classroom. For each person in the senior class, the sport activity may be different. Some had been in FFA, powerlifting, volleyball, basketball. For me, it was track and marching band. For us who have been in band, the common joke has always been, remember that one time at band camp? And for many of us, that would be a different moment that we found completely ridiculous. Our experiences together have shaped us and created our own individuality as we've moved through high school. Thus, I found it more enjoyable to be a part of a band family rather than technical success. Meanwhile, in track, I was able to get close to some of the seniors and other members of the school where I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Being a small team, we knew we could never win districts or compete with schools twice or 3 times our size. However, that didn't stop us from pushing one another and having fun in the process. And even though I made it a priority to succeed in the classroom, I now know that my connections with my peers have been the most developmental part of my high school career. The time spent in pursuit of these activities have shaped who I am, and I know that my peers can relate in that way. For many, the culmination of all of our efforts have led up to this point, the graduation of high school. Amongst friends and families, we'll take our last step together as an active class of high schoolers, our last shared experience together. We'll take our first step into the unknown, out into the world where there's so many different opportunities and trials to be had. The best advice that I can give as a member of our class is to try new things you may be uncertain about. In my experiences, I've had so many times where I've been unsure about something that I've later grown to love. However, jumping into something can be scary and difficult. It may even lead you to wear some bright red heels and a dress in front of all of your friends. Despite those uncertainties, I've found that there have been so many good things that come out of leaping into new things and trying my best. If you put your best foot forwards, we'll have proved you can overcome many obstacles and grow as a community. I want to take this moment to thank my friends, family, teachers, peers, and instructors. You have shaped me into who I am as an individual in and outside of the classroom. Now, I want to thank every single person in the stands today supporting this amazing class of 2022. Finally, I want to leave you with this image. After our final marching band contest and not moving on to states this past season, we were getting off the bus. But instead of just going home, we ran to the victory bell. Normally, it's rung when we qualify for state competition, but it wasn't this year. Everyone stood around it, the seniors closest and the most teary-eyed. We rang it anyways. Even though we didn't ring it for the traditional reason, we did it because of our family and our community growth. We celebrated not because we met the standards or qualifications of others, but because of our effort. Throughout life, we'll face challenges we never had before. Some will overcome, some we may fall short. Success is subjective, and if you feel that you've accomplished something or have overcome one of your obstacles, then you have. No one can take that away from you. Without a doubt, in everyone's own interpretation here today, our participation in this graduation ceremony tonight is a success. Our efforts thus far should be celebrated. And to quote Dr. Seuss, and spite Mr. Lawrence, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. We made it. Now let's take our next steps into the unknown with our best foot forward. It'll be scary to say the least, but we have proved here tonight that we're capable. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. At this time, we will have the valedictorian, who is also the senior class president, come forward to address the class. Mr. Tyson Guyette.
Wow, okay, this looks a lot different than me rehearsing to my dogs in my bedroom. First off, before I begin, I just want to thank all the students, friends, family, and faculty that I have the pleasure to speak with tonight. My classmates and I have officially made it past arguably the first major stepping stone in life. And of course, I'm talking about high school. Now, I'm willing to bet that every student in this room has heard the words, "Man, what I would give to be in high school again." And I want all of you in front of me to think to yourself, why have I heard this so many times? I believe the answer is simple. The answer is that they miss how carefree high school really was. High school is simply you getting up at a certain time every day, going to the same building, and getting passing grades. Now, obviously there's more to that, but that's the simplified version. When we walk out of these doors, our lives are going to change drastically. You will have to make significant decisions that will make a huge impact in your life. I'm willing to bet your life will change more in the next couple years than it has in the last 12. You have to do things that you've never done before, like you have to do your own taxes. Trust me, I don't know how to do that, and I'm literally the valedictorian. So when you're struggling or life is dealing you a bad hand, take comfort in that there are many, many people going through the same struggles, and do not be afraid to seek help. I want everyone to summon their inner Marty McFly with me and hop in our time-traveling DeLoreans and jump back to when we were in 6th grade. I know, I'm asking a lot here, but just bear with me. Towards the end of 6th grade year, our teachers loaded us up in buses and brought us over to the high school, where we'd be spending the next 6 years. I remember walking around those halls and thinking, wow, these seniors look like they could eat me alive. And honestly, some of them probably could have. Nevertheless, I was so excited to be all grown up and finally be in high school. Now, I'm sure that, like myself, the graduating class before you has changed greatly since then. I'll use myself as an example. I'm sure my friends would attest to this, but I used to be very introverted. I was pretty shy and pretty awkward, and I did not have nearly the number of friends that I have today. As everyone else was having sleepovers, I was in my room playing video games, because that's what I felt comfortable doing. Standing before you as your class president, I think you can see that things have changed a little bit. So to all my friends that pushed me out of my comfort zones, I thank you, because I would not be the man I am today without you. I've changed so much, in fact, that I used to absolutely despise country music. Yeah, I know, it's like a cardinal sin around these parts. But I've grown to it a little bit, so there's no need to disown me or anything. I would like to quote the great Albert Einstein, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Change is inevitable, so learn to welcome change." Everyone has heard the saying, "in the right place at the right time." However, your hard work is what will allow you to be in that place. As some of you know, I've been granted the opportunity to attend the Ohio State University on a full ride scholarship. Ever since I've been told that great news, I've gotten many questions, such as, "Tyson, how did you do it? What do I need to do?" I never had an answer, but now I finally do. You have to work hard. No matter your ability, nobody's going to question you if you put in the work. Whether you're going into the workforce, military, or college, those paths will all become easier and grant you more success by working harder. The key to success and recognition is to outwork your competition. The next time you are sitting in a room, I want you to look around and think to yourself, I'm going to outwork every single person in this room. Because no matter your ability, you can always work hard. Our time in high school has not come without its challenges. I believe that our time together has been one of the most unique high school experiences. And of course, the root of most of these struggles can be sourced to one thing: Mr. Sunday's math classes. No, of course I'm kidding. I'm obviously talking about our not-so-dear friend, COVID. Now, think what you want about COVID, but it is inarguable that it has shaped our high school experience. Our sophomore year, before spring break, word started traveling around that we were going to get an extra week. Everyone, and I included, thought, man, this is awesome. The 3 weeks go by and we're still at home. Then the next 2 years go by and we're still not back to normal. I'm sure everyone in this room has heard enough about COVID to last you a lifetime. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes things do not go as planned. But here we still are. We were able to adapt to our new situation and make the best out of it. That right there is a lesson for life. Things rarely go as planned. Your ability to adjust and overcome is an essential skill. Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So when life doesn't go as planned, you can either get knocked out or punched back. Whenever I think of complaining about anything in life, I like to recall a story my grandfather once told me. My grandfather was a Vietnam veteran who has unfortunately since passed. He told me multiple stories about his time in Vietnam, but this is by far my favorite. He said that he and his fellow soldiers would go out to eat at a certain restaurant in the city where he was deployed. Almost every day, they would see the same little boy that would beg them for money. They would almost always give him something. Then they would watch this little boy walk out of the restaurant where the other kids were waiting outside. These other kids would try to beat him up and take his money every single time. Now, I know that's probably shouldn't be funny, but he was persistent and sometimes even got away with the cash. Whenever I think back to this story, it serves me the lesson to be appreciative of every opportunity I have. It is sheer luck that I was born into the world I was, and people like that boy would give anything to be in my position. Take advantage of opportunities you are granted because others don't have that chance. Now you may be wondering to yourself, Tyson, what am I supposed to take away from this speech? Well, that's funny you asked that, because I bet without you realizing it, I've just given you my 5 lessons to success. That's what everyone ultimately wants in life, right? Your parents, teachers, and I want to see nothing more than you succeed in whatever you pursue. So to be successful, you must not be afraid to seek help. Learn to welcome change. Outwork everyone else in the room. Fight back when life doesn't go as planned. And take advantage of every opportunity because some people don't give it that chance. If I could give you one last piece of advice, it would be this. Live in the moment, because it only happens once. This has been Tyson Gayette, your class president and valedictorian. Thank you.
Nicely done, Tyson. Our speaker today was selected by the senior class. We asked them to select the faculty or staff member throughout the entire district to whom they wanted to present their last lecture. This year's speaker teaches civics. She earned her Bachelor's of Science from Wilmington College, and she earned her Master's in Education from Ashland University. Today's last lecturer is Mrs. Toby Briggs.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Eisler, colleagues, parents, guardians, friends, and the class of 2022. When I was informed that I was chosen to speak, I have to admit I was very surprised, shocked, and yes, nervous. Several of you congratulated me, and when I asked if there was anything in particular you wanted me to talk about, most of the time the answer was, just make it good. I'm not sure how helpful that is, but here we go. When I first started teaching here at the high school, I had a variety of classes that allowed me to teach all 4 grade levels. Over the years, times change, and so do class offerings, and today I do not have all the grade levels. Some days, I miss teaching the upperclassmen because, well, freshmen, you just never know what you're going to get. But on an evening like this, I am grateful because I can recall the first time many of you walked into the civics room 4 years ago. Some of you were nervous, some of you were timid, and some of you thought you already knew everything and you didn't need us to help you navigate through high school. And while I've not had you in class for all 4 years, I have had the privilege of watching you in marching band, sports, clubs, the student section at ball games, and other activities. What I have witnessed over these years are how those nervous and shy young boys and girls have now grown and sit before me as young men and women ready to close one chapter of their life and begin a new one. Each of you has made your own personal history these last few years, some in athletics, some in academics, some in FFA, and other organizations. All of you made history by simply persevering through a pandemic during your high school years. You have completed your projects, presented your presentations, taken your tests and exams. In short, you have made it through classes you didn't think you would pass, and here you sit today, ready to leave Madison Plains. You are about to be an alumni of Madison Plains. Now, don't let anyone tell you that being from a small school means you can't do great things. Alumni from this small school have gone on and had wonderful careers in a variety of fields. Some of our alumni have become pharmacists, engineers, mechanics, nurses, cosmetologists, and even funeral directors. I had to put that in there for my son. We have entrepreneurs, welders, electricians, lawyers, and athletic trainers. Some of our alumni have joined the military. Some have gone into manufacturing. We have police officers, firemen, paramedics, doctors. There are farmers, HVAC contractors. We also have alumni that currently work at the American Farm Bureau in Washington, D.C. And of course, we have secretaries, administrators, and teachers, some of which even come back and teach at their home school. These are just some of the careers that our past students have chosen and become very successful at. As the graduating class of 2022, you have completed the requirements for your high school career, and you have made some great memories over the last several years. While I encourage you to cherish those memories, also realize that the best years of your life are still to come. You are about to start on a new adventure and a new beginning. Many of you will leave the comfort that you have had in high school and venture into a new world facing new challenges. As you begin this new chapter, you will find that sometimes things do not always work out exactly as you have planned. Sometimes you don't get into the program you thought you would, or get the promotion you were up for. But remember this: rejection is not failure. Failure is giving up. It's how you react to the rejection that will determine the successes that you will have. Teddy Roosevelt said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." All of you have the ability to go and do great things, be productive citizens in our society, and I believe that you will go on and do mighty things as alumni of Madison Plains. In closing, I will leave you with this saying: take pride in how far you've come, have faith in how far you can go, but don't forget to enjoy the journey. Congratulations to Madison Plains High School's 50th graduating class, the class of 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Briggs. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Chad Eisler, Superintendent of Madison Plains Local Schools.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Huffman. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be with you. Before we continue, I would like to take a minute and introduce our Board of Education members and other dignitaries who are in attendance with us. First, our Board of Education. President, Mr. Mark Mason. Vice President, Mrs. Tula Zanikis. Board Member Ms. Becky Reinscheld. Board Member Mr. Brian Stonerock. And with regrets, Mr. Stuart Yensel is not able to be with us this evening, but if you would, please give them a round of applause. We thank you for your service. I would also like to ask, and I suspect that there are, if there are any former board members in the audience, would you please stand? Thank you for your service as well. Additionally, I would like to introduce one other special guest who is with us this evening, representing Toll's Career and Technical Center and one of Madison Plains' own, Mrs. Connie Strebe. I would also like to thank our high school secretarial staff for all of their work to put this commencement ceremony together. Mrs. Tammy Quire, Mrs. Kelly Stoughton, and Mrs. Carrie Whitaker. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate your efforts. To our graduates, congratulations. We are proud of you. You have accomplished so much in academics, in arts, in athletics, and in service to your neighbor and your community. Eagle Nation, well done. As you turn the page and begin the next chapter of your lives, please know we wish you every success. My hope is that you chase your dreams, and in doing that, may your work make our community, our nation, and our world a better place. Love people, be a lifelong learner, and be a positive leader. And go Eagles. And now, as Superintendent of the Madison Plains Local School District, and by the powers vested in me through the State Board of Education, the Ohio Department of Education, and the local Board of Education, I hereby declare that the class of 2022 has met the necessary requirements for graduation. Therefore, it is my pleasure to declare the Madison Plains High School class of 2022 as graduates. Congratulations.
All right, seniors, you ready? Alexis Elaine Bachman. Jenna Nicole Bailey. Kira Joanne Clevenger. Riley Ann Davis. Mackenzie Kathleen Dixon. Samantha Joe Irvin. Jemiah Daviana Fagan. Hannah Marie Fout. Caden Edwin Alkire. Seth Robert Bachman. Kevin Wayne Bentley. Dakota Lee Boisel. Austin Jacoby Brining. Carson Al Cahill. Caleb Alexander Dennison. Roger Daniel Doofman. Paul Henry Errett. Jada Mackenzie Gilpin. Georgia Gail Greenlee. Jalen Elizabeth Ann Hamilton. Kylie Marie Keckler. Maylin Marie Lawler. Caitlin Sue Legault. Emma Claire McCoy. Addison Nicole McPherson. Anna Teresa Morlock. Hunter Ryan Evans. Badar Fromm. Lucas David Furby. Andrew Scott Geyer. Tyson James Guyette. Alexander Lee Hammond. Alexander Nicholas Hartman. William Gerald Hawkins IV. Tyler James Hoover. Chase Matthew Howland. McKaylee Renee Grace Mullins. Adriel Phelan Owens. Zoe Gail Patrick. Alicia Elaine Pierce. Savannah Angel Dawn Pierce Maupin. Savannah Michelle Reed. Contessa Nicole Stevens. Octavia Catherine Wells. Evan Lee Eisen. Ryan Anthony Jarvis. Xavier Edemion Jenkins. Kanan Robert Kelly. William Scott Leisure. Chase Orion Mans. John Thomas Marks. Justin Levi Mayo. Aiden David McPherson. Charles Anthony Moore. Evan James Morehart. Trenton Isaiah Nybert. Zachary Thomas Noland. Caleb Braden Powell. Max Daniel Powell III. Samuel Alexander Rhodes. Gavin Andrew Schleich. Philip V. Shishlow. Ty Michael Sollers. Lucas Gary Stevenson. Andrew Levi Swigert. Jonathan Blake Thomas. Andrew James Thompson. Garrick Michael Wardell. Aaron Charles White. Caleb Timothy Clyde White. Isaiah Blake White. Pagasio Antonios Zanikas. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Seniors, please stand as your class president, Mr. Tyson Guyette, returns to the podium for the tassel ceremony.
Class of 2022. This is the last task we will complete as students of Madison Plains High School. This action will signify us no longer students, but instead as alumni. On my count of 3, we will turn our tassel from right to left and signify that we are graduates of Madison Plains High School. 1, 2, 3. You gotta throw them now. Let's go.
Yeah.